Build your brand globally. Make your venture a success. Unique Times, Premium Business Lifestyle Magazine.
അമൃത് ഹെയർ എലിക്സർ ഫോർ വിമൻ. ബയോടെക്നോളജി പ്രകാരം എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ചെയ്ത ഹെയർ എലിക്സർ. അമൃത് വേണി എന്നാൽ മുടിക്കുള്ള അമൃത്.
I would like to invite the panelists on stage. It's truly an honor for me to invite our speaker, Mr. VP Nandakumar, CEO and Managing Director of Automotive Finance Limited. Welcome, sir. Let's all welcome him with a big round of applause. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here for the discussion. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Our next speaker is Mr. Shri Bharat, Principal Commissioner, Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance, New Delhi. Welcome, sir. Inviting our next panelist, Mr. C.K. Kumaravel, CEO and co-founder of Naturals. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us here for the discussion. I would now like to invite our next speaker, Mr. Deepak L. Aswani, Managing Director of Aswani Lashmantas Group. Welcome, sir. And our next speaker is the past president of TiE Kerala and currently a member of the governing body of the Kerala Startup Mission. Please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. Rajesh Nair. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajesh Nair, for gracing this summit with your valuable presence. So now the stage is all set for the discussion. I request the moderator to initiate the session.
Thank you once again. I really don't have to introduce the persons on the dais here. They are the best you could get to talk about corporate social responsibility. People who have seen it in a much global perspective. People like Dr. Bharat, Shri Kumar. People who have actually been involved in setting apart 2% of their income and providing for social work in their areas. That includes Dr. Nandakumar, VP Nandakumar. That includes Mr. Kumaravel, who has come all the way from Chennai. Shri Kumar has also come from Chennai. And Rajesh, of course, he's been with Ernst & Young, and he's also been a startup innovator, I suppose. So we have an extremely good panel. Rajesh will be able to give a very holistic view, much better than I gave here. So I may request him first to add to what I said. I don't know whether you heard what I said, but I'm sure you'll be able to add to what I said. And then we have our local expert, Deepak. Deepak has always been, all of them have been, many of them have been good friends. Deepak has been a particularly good friend. He's from the Kochi Management Association. He runs the Raymond. He is in charge of the Raymond Industries here. Somebody who sees issues both globally and from the perspective of an individual company. So this is possibly the best panel we could have put together, that Pegasus and Unique Times could have put together. And I'll start off then by requesting Rajesh, if he can, to very quickly add to what I said. I don't know whether you heard me. I heard you. I gave a very brief introduction to what CSR is, but I'm sure you have, you can certainly add much more to it. And I'll request you to take a few minutes to give an overall perspective of what CSR is.
Thank you. Apologies, I had a flight from Bangalore which we got delayed due to the fog there. I heard the latter part of what Mr. Joseph said. And so let me step back and tell you a little bit of how the CSR, this entire policy initiative came in. I don't think we required any corporate social responsibility sort of mandate in the country to an extent, because some of the entrepreneurs out here have always been doing work for the society. But the broad principle and the thought behind having a mandated policy is any growth is meaningful only when it is wholesome and the entire society benefits from it. And while a lot of entrepreneurs are doing it on their own, the government had a feeling that perhaps if we mandate it, perhaps if we make it a rule that every company has to dedicate a very small percentage of their bottom line into corporate social responsibility or social projects, that'll create a better world and that'll create a better India. And the intention also was a lot of social projects, which whether it is poverty alleviation, whether it is literacy enhancement, or whether it is some bit of infrastructure development for the rural sector, etc. A lot of these would benefit if there is a corpus of this nature, which the corporates, put away. And just to add to what Mr. Joseph said, as a law it came out, in 2013, and there is the 2% mandate as well. But what is interesting is a lot of companies have been doing it. And doing much larger percentages for a while. We have also seen, like every rule, the average Indian also finds ways to bypass it. So we have seen some companies bypass it, creating, structures where, there was some bit of money which was being siphoned out, etc. So again, the government took a holistic view in the last 2-3 years and said that, the CFOs of the respective firms also need to sign off some of these initiatives. And there is, at some level, the MCA mandates that, the firms should audit some of their projects, where they are, utilizing their CSR. But I think that, holistically, it's a very interesting initiative. And suddenly we have seen corporates look for good projects. And there is a new ecosystem of such projects which have come up, and more corporates are able to identify and benefit the society at large. I think it's a great opportunity for each company to become a better version of itself and to contribute more for the society at large.
Thank you very much, Rajesh. I think you must have already got a good picture of what CSR is. Mr. Rajesh's additions to what I said enhances your understanding, I'm sure, of what social responsibility is, what corporate social responsibility is, and what the mandated law social responsibility is. And now we come to people who have actually implemented it, large corporates which answer to the figures I mentioned earlier, either 1,000 crores turnover or 50 crore profits. We have one of the largest and most benevolent companies here, the chairman and MD of that company sitting with us today, Mr. Dr. VP Nandakumar. I'll start off with Dr. Nandakumar. I would ask him to look at some of the issues I'm going to mention and try and give your views on it, address it and discuss it. Some of the areas I would like you to touch upon, Doctor, is many corporates look at CSR as a responsibility, not as more as a responsibility rather than doing it doing it voluntarily. Why is that so? Why do companies have not come to the stage where they think they should do it voluntarily and not because it is mandated by government? How does your company look at CSR? What are your experiences, your company's experiences on CSR, the positives, I'm sure, as well as the negatives? How do you evaluate your company's CSR during the last 9 years? And one final question, if you would like to answer that, is how do you think the participants at this event can be associated with CSR, generally across the country, and specifically, if you would like to answer that, CSR activities of your company? If you can address them, or as many of them as you can. I've got a minute for you.
Let me start with congratulating Ajit Devi for organizing this event, because it will definitely help to understand CSR to some extent, and also to remove some notions about CSR in this regard. And to my understanding, CSR has been made mandatory. Only country is India. Do these service activities to the community happen in other parts of the world? I feel like it is happening across the world. And gradually, Indian corporates, businessmen, promoters are also coming up. So, making this mandatory, is it creating any value? I have my own reservations. To Mr. Joseph's question of how do you do this? How our company, Manappuram Finance Limited, which is the pioneer as far as gold loan in the country is concerned, for the first time, a corporate, we have initiated that. Because then itself our idea was, yes, banks and unincorporated bodies. Unincorporated bodies are always suspected because of usurious rate of interest, and banks, their reachability, their reach is not that much. Last mile service to the community is not that much. We came up way back in 1992. On the one part, we want to be regulated, we are regulated, and also reaching last mile. So coming to CSR, even before making it mandatory, we started these CSR activities way back in 2009 and formed a separate foundation with that intention. And we have been spending around 3-4% of our profit then. The memory is correct. It has been made mandatory in 2014 when Rajesh Pilot was the Honorable Minister. So, we started with community service by ensuring the health of 6 panchayats in our area called Manappuram. Entire poor people, the numbering over 1.5 lakhs in that area. We used to pay them, pay insurance premium on their behalf to the insurance company, and that has been named as Manappuram Janaraksha Insurance Policy. What we have done, not only what is important is they should be insured. We should establish so many centers as service centers. In these panchayats, not one, around 30 centers was established. Because about the health insurance, the prerequisite or the requisite to claim insurance is not known. The government has been running this in several ways in the past. But the insurance benefits were not reaching out to the community. So what we have done is, yes, we have established centers called Mahima centers, where we also have fostered a counseling person, a psychiatric counseling person, who will do the psychiatric counseling, has the problem of depression which is going unnoticed. Along with that, they will publicize the health insurance. The insurance was up to 50,000 for anybody who had been treated by the large hospitals there, and they will direct them to the large private hospitals. They will go there and they will submit the bill here, and we will make the direct payment. This we have started in 2009. Then we were supporting the poorest of poor for in education, and in 2010 we have established chairs, research chairs, universities for research in various subjects, oceanography, etc. to the poor people in Shri's university here and other universities. This way we have started, and also funding those who need money, etc., for building houses, etc. So 2014 that has been made mandatory, and we have been continuing with what we have been doing, like in education, healthcare, etc. One thing, the doubt is, after reporting the profit, that we transfer 2% to a particular account meant for this purpose. So the mindset has come down to 2%. There is a general impression that spending 2% of the profit, our responsibility is over. The major problem is not that. Now, every company has CSR funds. The political interference, the local political interference, pressure coming from various sectors to spend the amount in projects which the politicians want. This is actually diverting the very intention. This way, unnecessarily involvement of the local politicians, they think that this company it is their duty. So here, as a CSR model, I should congratulate Mr. Kochausep Chitrapalli. Why? Not only money he was spending, but also he has donated an important vital organ to a person who was a poor person who is in need. So we also have several people who can be the role models, even without compulsion. In such an event, because it's a global trend, most wealthy people, they are donating 90-95% of their wealth in the service of the community. So is it really mandatory, or is it getting misused? These are some of the questions I have, doubts I have. Anyway, we have several projects educating the poor students, and also make them employable, and also educating for an entrance coaching, even for civil services coaching. And also courses like chartered accountancy, cost accountancy, etc., using this money, and many poor people are benefited out of that.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I think, yes, Dr. Nandu has raised some very, very valid issues, which I think we'll throw open for discussion.
Feel the freshness. Feel the softness. DQ 78 TFM Grade 1 Soap.